One thing I won't do is push against creative aspirations of our teams. I'm a huge supporter of Arcane Austin. Their track record is awesome. I love a lot of the great games that they've built. They're a very talented team. I love that team, and I still do. And I will totally bet on them to do another great game.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today, yes, we got another episode of the Salty Batch Files because, well, the salt never ends in the Xbox camp, and the ironicness never ends as well. So that means more content for all of us to have fun with and to bring it to light and set some things straight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. All right, so like I was saying, what we do, we're going to start off with actually Aaron Greenberg, one of the Xbox heads himself, one of the folks that goes in and has everything to do with social media. At least he has a big presence with that. So popping this up here, also including PFP and Header Hero takeover assets in case anyone wants to use. In case, and I know this isn't a salty example, but I do have to bring this stuff up. I have to bring this up because not only did they not really advertise Hellblade 2 that well, they barely talked about it until it's basically this close away from being released. But, you know, we've had all these studio closures and we haven't invested in that advertisement that really put this game out there. I wonder why. But on top of that, hey guys, since we don't want to pay for the advertising, here you go. Be sure to utilize this stuff. They're just assets. I mean, if you want to, you can totally advertise for free for us. And lo and behold, there are a lot of folks out there, of course, grabbing those and putting those as their PFPs, wallpapers, whatever the case is, for whatever asset you want to utilize it for. It works brilliant. The sheep never cease to amaze me. Just a great prime example of how they just manipulate the fan base, and those that still stay with the bullcrap is insane to me. But again, all the mentions I just talked about there, pretty ironic, pretty crazy, but let's move on. So, of course, it seems we can't go an episode anymore without Colt making an ass of himself. Colt Eastwood here, trying to damage control the PR, because Colt, Mr. Misinformation himself, tries to act like he could actually be an executive over at Xbox of some sorts, and while he is good at the misinformation and lying to the fan base, that's a shoe in the door there. However, I still don't think he's credible enough to actually be one, but he's talking about the recent Sarah Bond interview that, you know, you could tell she was uncomfortable, you could tell she wasn't wanting to talk about certain things, answer certain things, and understandably so, but in regards to what Tom Warren says here, Xbox President Sarah Bond responds to a question from Bloomberg's yada yada yada, and the Tango, you know, GameWorks was shut down and all the interview lingo was there. So, of course, Colt chimes in. As you can clearly see, her response should have been, "We are trying to build up a strong gaming platform and our hearts go out to the people that lost their jobs creating games for our fans. The industry is in a difficult situation and we at Xbox need to do better." Yes, Colt, they do need to do better, but however, they've mentioned, as you can see in the past video with all my video examples, they've stated this over and over before. We need to do better. We're going to learn from it. We're going to grow. We will do better. They haven't. They won't. They're going towards the end of a third-party publishing piece of it and how they work that. And again, that is where you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about because all it is word salad. So you want to continue because you're good at it. You're good at giving your fan base lies, misinformation, word salad, and that you're going to do better and this and that. And we'll get to you some more as we continue on. But the fact of the matter in this example here is you feel like you could do a better job. You love to lie for the brand. You love to misinform people for the brand. And you want Sarah Bond to do the same. I don't think so. However, keep trying to do your own PR and trying to save Xbox, because it's not happening anytime soon without some major changes. And that's going to ruffle some feathers as well if they do that. And we'll talking about Game Pass and all that stuff in day and date. But let's keep going on here. Of course, we have Xbox Series XS. Wait a minute, it appears that Shinji Mikami took most of Tango Gameworks staff with him to his new studio, Kamui. And I think I might have said that wrong. I do apologize. Now things are making sense. Of course, he pulls something from Reddit. Reddit is always 100% true, folks. Grasping at straws here is what the fan base is doing, but the best part is, as you see, readers added context. It was community noted. The director for Hi-Fi Rush says this claim is completely false, and he even gets on there. Yun Watanabe. That's completely false. Completely false. Not just a little bit, or there's a caveat to it. It's completely false. Xbox Series XS has a large following on social media. Like a large following. Again, the misinformation doesn't stop. The grasping at straws doesn't stop. Anything to save their brand, anything to save what they hold so near and dear, even though they've been failing them for over a decade. But let's continue. VGC, Video Games Chronicle, stating, how can any Xbox studio trust Microsoft now? They have their link. I agree. How? How would you trust them? Not only do they lie to their fan base, but they also lie to their employers and who they contract and who they just hire on in the company, period. How do you trust them? The best part here, Mr. Joseph Cruz. Mr. Joseph Cruz, the catfish that went on to Andrea Piccinini, still tries to hold that, but rebranded themselves to Skidoodle out of being known as a catfish, essentially. So, I didn't see you tweeting the same when Sony closed Japan studio, Pixel Opus, London studio, canceling Factions 2, Twisted Metal, Days Gone 2, etc. Come on, how can any studio trust Sony? Do it. So, with the cancellation of Factions 2, did Sony shut down the entirety of Naughty Dog? Pixel Opus, it didn't generate money and it was very small. I don't know how that's a trust. They gave them the opportunity to do something. It was not the next greatest, best informative and new thing on the block. It was a great game. Don't mind me saying otherwise. However, it's not like the Hi-Fi Rush, right? There's a lot more nuances to it. The Japan studio and stuff like that for Xbox, they wanted to create this foothold. So just horrible examples. London studio trying to do stuff with VR. They weren't set up to do anything great, I'll be honest. They did great, the games were great, but I'm saying as far as they weren't set up to be super successful because it all hinged on if the community and gamers would latch on to PSVR 2 and so on. That did not happen. Of course, and then Twisted Metal, that is unfortunate. I think there's been a big shift for games as a service. They ended up not being 100% sure. I still think that could have succeeded, in my opinion, if done right. But again, we're not closing studios due to that. And then Days Gone 2, Bend is not being closed. They canceled it because of sales. They have a very strong case for wanting to make those sales. So these are all horrible examples. Much as I'd love to see a Days Gone 2, and I think it was criminally robbed, and I think that journalists and reviewers out there did a horrible job at reviewing the game, and got a lot of pre-patch, gameplay going on, and I understand the bugs, but overall, come on. We all know how that story worked out. But again, these examples are horrible, absolutely horrible. And Xbox keeps fumbling over and over and over in regards to that stuff. But yes, let's call out Sony. That's the bad guys. The catfish knows what they're talking about. More misinformation, more pulling the wool over sheep, the eyes of all the sheep that follow them is what I'm essentially trying to get at here. But crazy is as crazy does. Let's keep going on. Risk it. Unpopular opinion. If Game Pass has to die to save Xbox and the hardware, then kill it. So this has been the whole moniker this entire week, right? The whole week, this moniker, right? It just comes down to the fact that we told you so. And when I say we told you so, I mean most of the world told you that Game Pass is not sustainable. It's not sustainable being day and date. There's a way to do it, but the growth is going to be stagnant. And there's reasons behind that. And I need to make a video on this. If you want to know, let me know. I'll be more than happy to clarify. But it all has to do with what I've said in the beginning too. You have thousands of games. Thousands of games. Most folks, most hardcore gamers, they are the only ones that can get through 2 to 3 games a month. Casual gamers out there, and it's okay if you're casual, there's plenty of you out there, and that's normal and that's fine. Casual gamers cannot get through the entirety of the catalog. The less you play, the more you pay. I've said that from day one. Nobody agreed with me. Most people didn't agree with me, but here we are. Not done with this one here. Colt Eastwood, they are bringing in $3 billion per year with a stagnant Game Pass. It's just one piece to the revenue stream. Oh my gosh. So you still have people latching on saying it's okay. Nothing needs to change. There's no issues with it. It's bringing in enough money. It's fine. No, it's not fine. That's why you're in the predicament that you're in. And you sit there, and even David Jaffe, who's a big fan of Game Pass, creator of Twisted Metal, God of War, all that stuff. You know about him, I'm sure. If you watch his channel, I'm sure you do. And it's the fact that he even admits, look, it's great for consumers. Always has been, and I agree with that too. Of course it's great for consumers. But as a business, and this is what he says as well, which is what I said from day one, it's not working the way it is. Even though, Jaffe, you did mention that day and date is A-okay. It's A-okay if they were going to substantially grow from this, yes. But they always needed to have that plan B in the pocket if it wouldn't. And odds are it wasn't going to grow. I could see it not growing for multiple reasons. It just doesn't make sense. As a business, as a consumer, it makes plenty sense. And I get why people love Game Pass. Who wouldn't? Day one, you're paying a monthly sub. Yes, you don't own them. Yes, this, and this. But as a consumer, it's great. As a business, and trying to continually provide that service and those great deals in games to, quality games, mind you, to the consumer isn't going to work out in the long run, and consumers needed to understand that. And in addition to getting Game Pass, and it's not the consumer's fault because, again, they were led to believe that's all you have to do is sub. The reality of it, you needed to sub as well as buy games. Again, the casuals are not going to do that. Here we are. So again, Colt, wrong yet again. I don't know when he's ever been right personally, but here we are. The Colt train doesn't stop. Usually I do 1 or 2 examples of each person, max a video, but it hasn't stopped for him all week. He's obviously hurting. A few games I was really not confident in now made me excited. Again, there is a lot of negativity out there, understandably so, and a little FUD. But I'm really excited for Xbox Showcase. If you love games, we need this. And again, like, the negativity out there is just facts. The studio closures, Game Pass not being sustainable the way it is at this current time. On and on and on. There's no FUD. There's no fakeness. The only FUD that's out there is coming from your mouth. That's all you do is lie. And you were clowned on this week pretty hard, but you're going to continue to go on because you still have your sheep, and that's all you need. That's all you need is the sheep to latch on to the misinformation that attach themselves to a brand that doesn't care about them and never has. And they're not getting anything out of it to boot. That's the problem. But you're to blame for a lot of this is folks like you with a very large following that continues to lie to your fan base instead of being honest, instead of demanding better from the brand in which you have a little influence to, because they understand, they fly you out, they give you the items, they give you sponsorships, they give you this, that, and the other. You failed your fans and you helped make Xbox a failure it has been for the last 10 years as far as offering quality gaming, big sales, and not the opportunity to possibly go third party. That lies on you. as well as the people that follow you. But I digress. Let's keep going. Snap Blast Play. This is what they have right now. We're talking about quality, we're talking about games, and I'm not going to take anything away from this. Little Kitty Big City on Xbox Game Pass is a surprising fun game. Plus, it's only 1 gigabyte and has some pretty easy achievements, so no excuse not to download and give it a try. I'm sure it's a fine game, but this is what we're driven to as an Xbox fan. Is that what's going on? We're Little Kitty Big City type of gaming? Is that what we're gearing towards? Is that what's supposed to make you buy a hardware system or invest in the Game Pass? Hey, we got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Stellar Blade, Rise of the Ronin. All sorts of stuff over on the PlayStation side this year alone, and we're not even halfway through quite yet. But you guys, we got Hellblade 2 that hasn't been advertised hardly at all. So I'm sure there's a lot of confidence behind there. And then we got Little Kitty Big City. But don't worry, I'm sure Indiana Jones and Avowed will be great later on this year. Don't worry, guys. Hang in there, wait, because that's our motto. But right now, jump in and play Little Kitty Big City, because that's why you're an Xbox fan, is to get great perks like Little Kitty Big City. Hang in there. Do you see how ridiculous this is all the time? Let's keep going. One more before we get to our video here. General MLD. All eyes on Hellblade 2. I think it will be a great game, easily better than the first. He was responding to just a basic comment from one of his fellow Xbox figureheads. I just think this is really deep. This is really, self-reflective, if you will. I think it will be a great game, easily better than the first. No fucking shit. It's going to be better than the first. It better be, as long as it's been in development. What are we doing here? What kind of a response is that? I just wanted to throw that out there because I read that and I literally lose brain cells of how just basic it is. And again, somebody with an actually pretty decent following. And again, just never admits to taking an L, never admits that Xbox is at fault for the most part. I think it will be a great game, easily better than the first. Again, when was the first one released? Multiple years ago. We're in a new generation. They've worked on it for over 8 years. I hope it's better than the first one. If not, we're going to have some serious problems, aren't we? But thank you, Captain Obvious, for that insight. That being said, let's leave you with the video here. This is in regards to Colins' last stand. Colin Moriarty and friends. They have a quick poke fun at Colt Eastwood and his nonsense this week. Take a look right here.
Because I was like, there's just no way. So why were these people so deluded? I think that they were deluded because they're not good faith actors. And hopefully people remember who's who and what's what and what they said. People making marketing materials. Come on.
Oh, wearing a suit after the Activision deal goes through.
Who was that? Who did that?
And now Colt.
Oh, did he really?
There's a clip of him from last year wearing a suit talking about how the deal went through and how it's good. And then now he's saying that, I said they need to leave this deal alone.
No, I don't think you did. Maybe he can wear that same suit to Xbox's exclusivity funeral.
Maybe.
As we continue to get more and more PlayStation, Xbox games.
Did you see that somebody nuked Phil Spencer's base? And
yeah, that seems a little mean.
All right, so like I was saying, it's great. They even call him out. He's a clown. He's going to wear the suit to the funeral of Xbox exclusivity. That's what I took from that video, the best thing. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was great. And I thought that was just honestly true in a way. I can see him coming in with a video eventually if Xbox exclusivity fully goes away. And he's wearing a suit. Well, guys, this, that, and the other, and this is why, and it's okay because, and gloss over the whole situation, all this BS. But nonetheless, wanted to leave you with that. I really tried to get this video down a little bit less, so I do apologize. I'm trying to get them into 10 to 15 minutes, but there's just so much out there. I could write a book every week. That's how much nonsense is out here, folks. That being said, I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed that salt, the shenanigans, the ironicness, if that is a word, we'll see. Maybe they'll add that in the dictionary if it's not already there. I stamp of approve that. But that being said, thanks again so much for everybody's following this channel and the content. It means so much to me. And of course, I couldn't do any of this without you because it just lets me know you enjoy the content, makes me feel better about providing that to you all. So thanks again. If you haven't already, definitely leave a like and a comment, helping out the algorithm for these videos. Of course, if you haven't already as well, definitely consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself. And of course, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. And just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see you guys next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.